These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome, everybody, to America's Barley Basket. I am Nathan Folsebuck. Sitting beside me in the flesh is Marlon Wells.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are you, bud?
Okay.
How's your mice?
Oh,
Let's
the
get
mice?
to the heart of the matter.
Oh.
The people need to know. We need a rodent update.
When you have a home invader like I did, you have to look yourself in the mirror and just evaluate quickly.
Uh-huh.
Are you a man or are you a mouse?
And?
I'm a man.
Attaboy.
I went and I have exterminated so many mice with complete prejudice. I left their corpses to lie overnight because I want the other mice to know what awaits them
As a
when
warning.
they step into the cum dungeon.
The what now?
The cum dungeon.
Okay.
We've discussed.
That's
It's damp.
I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, it hits a lot of people. Usually when I have guests over, you should see how it hits them.
You have a lot of guests over?
2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
they scooted out of there pretty quick.
I'll bet. And went and got their hep shots.
And now that we have half the carpet ripped out of there because of a water mishap, you can really scoot. Those floors are slick.
Boy, things are going really well where you live.
I live in a ship that's slowly capsizing. It's like, oh, we can't go in the galley anymore.
Oh, God.
Too much sewer backup in the galley.
You just have a series of those big locking watertight doors with the big wheel in the middle.
It keeps getting more and more.
You just keep sealing off.
Like, as long as we got that egress window, we can pull it off. That's the safety hatch.
We're just slowly retreating back to the decompression chamber.
I just keep scooting my Mountain Dew no sugar 24 packs closer out of the floodwaters. But
someday that'll be the last room still left.
I think we're at day 6 rodent free.
Oh, you might have got them all then.
I think so.
What's your body count?
4.
Okay. Nice family of 4.
One,
that
I
would
think,
make
either
sense.
died or just got crushed by my recliner. I can't tell.
No.
I went to brush my teeth. Ever just get a weird sensation to brush your teeth and go do
In
it?
the middle of the day, not like after a meal or nothing? Yep, totally.
I had a wake up in the middle of the night, was looking at my phone, and I was like, I want to brush my teeth. It just feels weird.
Okay, that's weird.
That is, right? I got out of bed at 4 in the morning, brushed my teeth, and I just saw a mouse. Oh, that's just sitting there. Like, well, I got traps. I'm going to shut this door, let nature take its course. Woke up that next morning. Ooh, still sitting there. It's like, fucking mouse is dead. I made a makeshift oven mitt out of Walmart bags, and I just fucking gave it the old iron claw. Like, that thing ain't shaking or moving, so I just unwrapped the
Peel the bag off the arm.
Yeah, give it a quick zip with the hand motion there. If only they could see that fluid motion. Give that thing and just fucking tomahawk dunk it in the trash. And there it lie.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Way to take no prisoners.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Triumph over adversity, the Nathan Folsebuck story.
Yeah, no, you're very brave and strong.
Thanks,
and
Ray.
so handsome.
I was hoping you'd hit on some of those other notes that I've left for you. Why don't you mention this more often? The hunkiness.
Well, I'm glad that you're largely invader free now.
Thank you. How's your place? Any vermin?
No. Well, yes, I have fucking box elder bugs, as you can see.
Oh, yeah. But do you think bugs are vermin? No.
They're a pest.
Pest.
I would rather they not be here, but they're here. But that's, Minnesota, near water and lots of trees, and it's the fall. You get fucking box elder bugs. Nothing you can do. This fucking cat won't kill any. The cat is useless as a hunter.
I was this close to putting a Facebook ad enlisting people to bring their mousers over.
Yeah, if this you could have borrowed this cat if she were a hunter,
I need one of
but
them.
she's not.
You can look at a cat's eyes and see if there's bloodlust. That
She doesn't have it.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the killer instinct. We're sitting here. She's sitting on the armrest of my chair like I'm just Blofelding it over here. Fucking Bond villain with this cat that can't kill bugs.
My first thought was Inspector Gadget. What was
Dr. Claw?
Dr. Claw.
Yeah, with the cat. Not like I've seen her go up to a box elder bug and like bat it with her paw a couple of times and then just walk away. I'm like, fucking eat that thing.
That thing's still alive.
There's 40 others in here. Yeah,
bugs are good for you.
They're bad right now. It's apparently a good indicator that maybe the seal on my patio door is not great because I am covered in box elder bugs 24/7.
I said a kiss from a rose joke earlier, but I think I nailed it so perfectly I could never capture that essence again.
You can't recapture it. It's gone. Yep.
Sorry, guys. I fucked up. I should have saved that for the recording.
Yep, you burned all your good shit.
You know how much solid gold we sometimes drop before this mic starts rolling?
At least 2 hours worth of it.
Yep. Someday.
We got to get warmed up.
Mm-hmm. Gotta get those podcast gears all lubed up.
Yeah. We are lubed up to slide it into a new season of The Simpsons.
Damn right.
I'm going to put it graphically. Season 17. Goddamn.
Really cooking now. This would be fall of 2005. Where are you at in life, Marlon?
Fall of 2005. I am... Am I still in college? I am still in... Well, we might be coming up on the end of me still being
higher
in college.
Learning.
But I've gotten the job in radio that will lead me to think, well, why would I stay in school if I got the job I want? Because I was going for a mass comm degree because I wanted to be in radio.
Yeah.
Nobody told me you don't need a degree to be in radio. Most people in radio don't have degrees.
You just need to settle for less.
Yeah. So
financially, hours.
Yeah. No marketable job skills that you will learn in the whole time you're there. But it's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, passion.
So, yes. No one is in radio because they make money.
Yeah.
They're in radio because they
Except
love
Rick
it.
Dees.
And his weekly top 40.
Weekly top 40.
Rick Dees, who was Shaggy, the other countdown guy.
Oh,
Casey Kasem.
Casey Kasem, yeah.
Stern.
Yeah.
Bob and Tom. There's like a dozen men who've ever made money in radio. And probably 0 women, actually. It's... So I'd have had that job by now. 2005. I've probably met Papa Roach.
Oh fuck!
Which is a boy. It's a big milestone in any radio boy's life.
I ate sushi next to Papa Roach once.
Nice.
Because my friends were like, "Why do those guys like Papa Roach so much? They were wearing Papa Roach hoodies.
They were wearing their own merch.
Finally,
Boy.
It's like." That's fucking Papa Roach, dude. And the best is this was a very quiet restaurant. There was 3 tables. It was us, some other randos, and Papa Roach, who were 5 feet away. They had to have heard this go down.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It was also some roadies. It wasn't just the 4 members. Probably,
okay.
Yeah.
Eating some sushi next to Jacoby Shaddix.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, I forgot that's
what
his
a
name
fucking
now.
name, right? Jacoby.
Yeah.
Shaddix. Everything about that name is fucking ludicrous.
Fall of 2005, I would have actually been buckling down to actually try to attempt to finish college.
Oh, look at you.
Remember, right around the time I finally said, fuck it, we got to get this done.
Just trying to finish the 4-year, or were you in advanced?
No, we're still 4 years.
Because you have a master's?
Oh, master's, yes. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up.
Well,
for employees,
I was trying to gauge where you were
out there. I'm just littered in degrees. So much paper, baby. I was wrapping up. Now I'm an English major. Just like, you got to get this done. The odyssey of college needs to come to an end at some point. So, yeah, that's what I was taking care of. I would have been, I think right around this time, I would have been getting into my very fruitful call center career.
Ooh.
Yeah. A job that somehow lasted 11 to 12 years, which is sickening, and the more I don't like to think about it because it makes me sad.
Yeah, more than someone who has a master's degree should be having to stick around.
I finished my undergrad and I was still at the same call center, and then I finished my master's degree and was still at the same call center.
Oh boy.
Yep. Don't look long in the mirror when you have a job like that because you'll get real sad in a hurry. Just face the wall when you're brushing your teeth.
In the middle of the night.
For more tips, follow my Instagram. How to not start crying every morning. And besides that, I don't think living with my buddy Derek, we're playing a lot of GameCube. Okay. A lot of Mario Baseball in 2005,
nice.
2006. Yep.
Mario Baseball is an underrated Mario sports franchise.
Very much so.
Sluggers was good. That might not have been out just yet.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Yeah.
That was like the real arcadey one was Sluggers.
I think that might have been what we were playing. I'm not sure. Played a lot of that. And then obviously Mario Kart for the GameCube. And a lot of the soccer one.
Strikers.
That's what it was. Yep. And The Simpsons are in season 17. So at this point, if we stumble on a year they're not on Sundays, I'm going to flip my fucking shit, man. Because I can't imagine them not ever being on Sundays anymore. So, and at this point, it's getting boring too, because they're kind of just like the same faces. We got King of the Hill, Family Guy, all the regulars. There was a new one at the time, and I remember they pushed it a lot too. If you watch football, it was The War at Home, which was like a dysfunctional family sitcom.
I've heard that name.
A la Roseanne. The starring name was Michael Rappaport.
Okay.
Michael Rappaport, that was his. I think it maybe lasted a little while. And one thing I didn't learn until I checked out the old Google machine and read up on the show, a young Rami Malek was on the cast. Yeah. Huh. So that's one of his first notable roles was being on that show.
Crazy. I think of him as being new, and he is apparently very not.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. He's older than you'd think. I think he's into his 30s.
Yeah. I just know, Bohemian Rhapsody, and I haven't seen it yet, but he's in, Mr. Robot, and he's the villain in the new Bond movie.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
One thing that I found interesting, just looking and seeing what was on Sunday nights during this network TV season, for a short moment, Fox was airing episodes of It's Always Sunny on Fox.
Really?
Right?
Huh.
Just a short window. I don't know if it's kind of because I'm thinking Fox is probably so fledgling at this time. It's like, hey, look at this funny show, right? See what else we got. Maybe you like The Shield.
Trying to draw some people over to FX,
I was like, that is interesting. And
you much of an Always Sunny guy?
Love it. I mean,
really?
Not to the point, but I'm almost at a point I don't consume anything feverishly anymore. I'm 2 seasons behind at least.
Yeah, I'm at least 5 to 8.
Oh,
behind.
Really? Yeah. I still really enjoy it.
I remember liking it, but I was kind of the way you are about The Simpsons, where I really hate when the show would get outlandish. Where it was and it threw me early on, because it was just like, oh really, did fucking Dennis and Dee get addicted to crack cocaine this week? Is that what happened? You know what I mean? I always like the small stories much more than the big ones.
Like the Who Pooped the Bed one.
Who Pooped the Bed's a great episode.
On the other networks at this time, this blew my mind that it seems like drama or police or hospital shows can run far longer than you would imagine, because this season was the first time in a dozen years NYPD Blue wasn't on the air.
Wow.
So you're telling me that shit lasted until 2005. That's I think ER was the same way. ER lasted 5 years longer than anyone thought it did. You could have told me Grey's Anatomy went off the air 7 years ago. I would have believed you.
Grey's Anatomy's still
on television. Nuts.
Yeah, I was never, I've never seen an episode of NYPD Blue. I have probably accidentally caught some episodes of ER as a kid.
Yeah, it was a good show. I see what the hype was about it. A lot of good actors and good. I mean, we've gotten spoiled nowadays because we've got shit you like The Shield. I like
prestige television,
The Wire. But I mean, for its time, NYPD Blue was very good.
I always heard that it was ahead of its time. Yeah.
Another thing that went off the air, CBS lost Everybody Loves Raymond at this time, and Jag, another show on the air
forever.
Who
old people
watching?
Old people. It had to be
insane. Those CBS has the market cornered on shows that you just don't what is Walker Texas Ranger 2? A decade.
Yeah.
How does that fucking happen?
I don't know. I feel like the only people I ever knew who ever watched Jag were my grandparents' age.
Okay, yeah. I remember the lady lead. I don't know if that's the proper term, but the lady in it. She was in a copy of FHM magazine.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, there was some chef's kiss cranking.
What's her name? It's not Carrie Ann Moss. It's
something
the other
like that.
one.
Yeah, Belle Catherine something Bell or something like that. I think I'm onto something there.
I've lost it. Maybe it is Carrie Ann Moss and I'm fucked up. I doubt it. She'd have been in the Matrix by now. She wasn't on television.
Right. No, this wasn't her. Yeah.
I think Family Guy has made a joke about how thin and angular she is.
Shows that were starting at this time. A show maybe you mentioned you've seen before is Bones. on Fox.
I've never seen an episode, but I love Angel, and that also stars David Boreanaz.
That's what it was.
So I like root for Bones from the sidelines because I like him.
Yay, Bones.
Yay, Bones. Hey, Bones is on this show.
On CBS, they got the twin hitters of Criminal Minds and How I Met Your Mother, both decade-long money machines. And NBC, still flailing in the wind, got America's Got Talent and Deal or No Deal.
Oof.
Which...
Deal or No Deal, I always thought was such a dumb fucking show.
I don't know. I just loved it because I would get very angry watching it. I think I just loved watching dumb, greedy people lose everything.
Yeah, that was the appeal, if any, for me. Was like, yeah, you fucking should have taken the $30,000 they offered you last time. You fucking scumbag.
Bum. I can look
good for you.
A casual glance at this screen lets me know you've never seen $30,000 in your fucking life. I told Grandma we're gonna have 7 matching Winnebagos. We don't get 7 Winnebagos. We get 0 Winnebagos. No deal, Howie. And they cheer as these fucking knuckleheads lose everything. Like, ugh.
$30,000 could change your life, you dumb hick.
They had to fucking pay for their own hotels. I hope they fucking being on that show bankrupts them somehow. Oh,
see, and like, I don't take a lot of pleasure in that. That just frustrates me, you know. So I was not a big fan. I also don't really care for Howie Mandel.
Okay. I do remember watching an episode too where there was a woman on there. She was very understated, which I can't believe she slipped past the choosers of who's on that show. And she's like, I just want, I want to be safe and smart. And I don't know if they rigged it somehow, but the first she picked 7 cases. 6 of them were the top 6. So she's like, I guess I'll take $4,000. And she just walked off the show.
Good for her.
Which is like, that lady deserves so much more. Someone blaming Howie on it.
Yeah, fuck you, Howie. Yeah, he does.
And we know Howie has some anxiety, OCD issues with him. Like, he talks about that show would have him like nauseous.
Oh, I'll bet.
Because he was saying in his head the same thing, like, why are you not taking this money?
Yeah.
Like, I can tell, like, you stapled these clothes together. Like, you found them at a car accident.
Please let me give you some money. Anything.
Oh, my God. Yeah. America's Got Talent, just one of those boiling garbage.
Yeah, just another singing show.
Find someone that's sick. It has some modicum of talent. Like, oh my God.
The only time I ever see anything from America's Got Talent is when some fucking aunt shares some weepy fucking story about some one-legged kid that wins. It's like, fuck. Yeah, America's Got Talent is for aunts.
Yep. My parents like America's Got Talent. They love The Voice. Love it. I don't get it. To the point where if I call home and it's like, oh, what are you up to? Oh, are you watching The Voice right now? No, I've literally never. That doesn't even slow the conversation. They got this new guy on there now. I think they're gonna want him to win, but they got to let the black gal win because she's the most talented of the bunch. But of course, they had a black gal last time. I'm sure they got some kind of rules about that. I'm like, what are going on?
Talking about?
Listen, I just called to check on. Are we still doing Christmas? What's going on?
Or are you watching The Voice?
And then it'll just be literal silence as they sit and watch The Voice, wait for someone to get done singing. And okay, what was that again? Like, it's like, you have TVR. I know
you can hang up on your own parents. You can do that. You're an adult.
Part of me is, again, I like a good car crash. I want to see how long this can last.
You do like a car crash.
Am I going to hear snoring? Is everyone going to go to bed?
I'll never understand you. You like when things go tits up.
I am a labyrinth of different emotions.
Yes, you are.
So many layers to this Nathan Onion.
Layer 1 of season 17 is the bonfire of the manatees. We get right off the bat Homer with a sports pennant, which I know you're a big fan of, and the pennant says "My team." Yeah. That's all it says. He's watching a Broncos football game. They cut away from the action to do this insane fucking
commercial.
Yeah, this like in the studio interview with the contestants from Fox's new hit show, The Billionaire versus the Bear, and they're trying to vaguely explain the convoluted rules of this fucking reality show.
The part that crack and watch out for the betrayer.
Yeah, and it's just a guy in like a mask with a question mark on it. Yeah. Yeah, it's insane.
Millionaire versus bear.
And then, and the final twist, what you don't know is the bear is a tiger. And it takes off the fucking bear mask and it's a tiger under there. Oh, I guess Denver won and scored and won the game. Like the football game's an afterthought to their fucking advertising, which I thought was funny. Homer has been sports betting via the guidance of Professor Pigskin, a fucking pamphlet he got in the mail on betting on sports. And Lisa explains to him that, like, well, they send out some that tell you to pick this team and some that tell you to pick the other team, and they play the odds that eventually you're going to get the winning pamphlet enough times in a row for you to give them your credit card. And by the time she's done explaining, he's on the phone giving him their credit card.
Those advertisements still exist.
Do they?
It's like, if you listen to sports talk radio, it's like, Bluto's picks this month. You're going to find out more about the inside knowledge that Bluto has. Call in for Bluto's picks this Friday, week 7, the NFL. You ever got into sports betting at all?
No, like I've done sports betting. Like I went to Vegas during football season, so I made some sports bets, but not in fucking knowing what I'm doing.
My thoughts on sports gambling is a lot like my thoughts on vinyl record collecting.
Okay.
That I think I would enjoy both, but it's a slippery slope to me losing all my money.
You're worried about how into it you would get.
How many thousands could be spent.
It's baffling that you don't have a crippling sports addiction.
Right?
Like sports gambling
My gambling
addiction.
is weirdly specific.
Yeah, because you love to gamble and you love sports.
Don't like slot machines, which that's weird. For most people that like gamble, I don't like slot machines. Yeah, I don't like a lot of table games. I don't like casinos much in general. If I go to a casino, I hustle to the poker room as quickly. I hate all those people smoking. Everything's smoking on the casinos. You know, like
blinking lights and all that. You don't want any of that.
Right. I don't need that. Yeah. I want a specific amount of depressed people. I don't want 10,000 depressed people.
You like to keep it. What's the word? Compartmentalized.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I want to be sad when I'm eating prime rib. Then I want to be sad when I don't need to be sad with the masses. Remember the last time I was at a poker room in Vegas, because they have masseuses that will come to your table. And this
at the poker table,
they'll flip your chair around and just give like
a little neck rub in there.
Yep, and you get like a 20-minute, and they really didn't. That lady was doing work. I just looking at this 5'1", all torso meatloaf shaped man getting pounded into a mush, and like he would let out these death rattles every time she'd push into him like a broken toy, like his dingle ball was dented, just like. This is my future. I'm looking in a mirror right now. Like, this is like a slightly smaller version of me. Like, what a life this is. Just sitting, no natural light for hours, if not days at a time.
That man came through the time tunnel to warn you, and he got distracted by poker.
Buy a mountain bike.
Nathan.
Breathe fresh air every once in a while. The sun is not your enemy.
So Homer is following the advice of this Professor Pigskin pamphlet, and wouldn't you know it, he bets a bunch of money and loses it all, and now he is in deep with Fat Tony, because apparently he borrowed some money from Fat Tony to make these bets.
There's a couple good games. The game he bets on, of course, is just like a travesty of just like the biggest loss in NFL history.
Yeah.
Like, it's like someone should have known that all the whatever team's offensive line was out this week.
Yeah, they got 32 people out with the flu or something. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, we get a scene of them torturing Homer with hammers about getting the money paid back, and Homer keeps making it worse for himself by not being able to keep his fucking mouth shut, so they keep smashing his hands all to shit with hammers.
Ball-peen hammers, that would hurt.
Yeah, ball-peen hammer is a rough one. Not a lot of, I don't think I've ever seen a ball-peen hammer in popular culture used for its actual purpose.
Right, yeah, no one's shaping metal.
Yeah, no one's trying to dome out a nice piece of tin.
It's usually used to punish somebody.
Yeah. They decide what they come to. The agreement is Fat Tony and the mob wants to shoot a porno at Homer's house.
There's a good gag where Homer just assumes it's gay.
Yeah, like, well, I didn't say anything
it was
about gay. Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. But Homer has to figure out a way to hide it from Marge. So he sends Marge and the kids to a vacation spot called Santa's Village, even though it's August.
Yeah, that was a good gag. Yeah.
And I like that they're the only visitors.
Yeah.
This
That's the off season.
I like that it sucks.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is such a nightmare.
The reindeer are exhausted because it's not their natural habitat. Oh,
damn it.
There's such a good line too when they finally get to see Santa and he's just through with it.
Yep.
And Bart, you don't seem very jolly. And Santa goes, well, Santa got some bad medical news. It's such a good line.
Yeah, that's a fucking great line. So while Marge and the kids are away at that, Lenny and Carl wander into the porno they're making, and Lenny's like, oh, I'll help with some technical crew job, and Carl just is like, and I'll be in the film.
Yeah.
Like, I love that he right away is just like, yeah, I'll perform, sure. Marge comes home early and catches them shooting a porno at the house, and she's mad, of course, and takes off, just gets in the car and goes.
Yeah.
Leaving Homer with the kids, and she eventually calls home and explains that, like, yo, this shit always happens, and then I leave and I'm mad, and then I come back, and then you apologize, and a couple weeks later you fuck it all up again. Like, she just spells it out over the phone because we're 17 seasons into this and nothing's changed. And then a fucking manatee presses itself up against the phone booth. And this manatee is with I think it's Dr. Caleb Thorne is the character's name, who's like the marine biologist or whatever, who's working with these manatees. And it is voiced by Alec Baldwin.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Who did not have a good week this week.
He did not have a very good week.
I feel real fucking bad for that guy.
Very bad week. No good, very bad week.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
Yep.
But he's, I bet, gonna really wrestle with some things mentally and emotionally.
I've had some crummy days at work. It's never ended with me accidentally shooting somebody.
Yeah. So
that's a case of the Mondays.
I feel bad. Jesus Christ.
That is definitely.
That's a Garfield Monday.
Yeah, right? Yeah, give that guy some lasagna.
I feel bad for Alec Baldwin. Yeah. Fuck you for making me laugh during that sentence, you asshole.
Holy shit, someone tried to hand him a piece of lasagna. What? Why? Well, you know, Garfield, what are you talking about? He hates normal? I'm going to go back. Someone thinking this is their chance to work their way up. Yeah. Like, this is it. I'm going to get in good with Alec Baldwin.
I'm giving this lasagna.
What a thing to have someone. I mean, minutes after it happened, too, like his heart rate would slow down. He just took a knee to process what just happened. Lasagna, sir?
Lasagna, Mr. Baldwin?
No fork. How did you think I was going to eat it if I even wanted it?
It always cheers Garfield up.
You know, is it Tabby? He hates Mondays. This is Monday. I thought maybe you hate Mondays too. You know, like dogs named Odie?
Kick a dog named Odie or ship Nermal to Abu Dhabi? What are you talking about?
I'm going to go home. Your mom's just in the car waiting. She just knows how that's going to end. Did you make any friends, hon?
He didn't want the lasagna at all. Now I'm having occasional Mondays.
To the Garfield store.
Oh boy. So now Homer and the kids are out looking for Marge while she's working with the manatees. They end up staying at some cousins of theirs who are country folk. And Homer can't stop using the word rube, which I'm fine with because I like the word rube quite a bit. And I love that he's just constantly like, oh, these simple country folk. And they're like, no, we're having lasagna and salad, and like but Homer's like, give me some moonshine, corncob pipe.
Obviously, more financially well off and sophisticated than the Simpsons are. Yeah.
They're easily above the Simpsons, but since they don't live in the city, Homer thinks they're idiots. Jon Stewart made an entire career out of that on the Daily Show. Marge, like, accepts his apology when they eventually run into each other, but she wants to stay with the manatees that she's saving because she feels fulfilled for once in her life.
Good for her.
So it's like, we're all good. I'm not mad at you anymore, but I'm going to stay with the manatees for a while. I can't tell. This feels late to the Save the Manatees movement, doesn't it? Like, that strikes me as a late 90s thing. Yep. But I guess
they really pushed the manatees for a hot minute. I remember that.
Yeah, manatees.
I think I was young enough.
thing.
I was still in school. Might have been like high school, but I remember manatees being told, "Hey, they're," because there was 4 of them left.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Manatees.
We named
manatees
them.
were the thing we have to save today.
I did like too when the manatee first pushed itself against the phone booth, and Marge goes, an oogly boogly.
Oh, Marge.
Yeah.
So Homer's at the beach, and he sees a bunch of jet ski bullies, like, bullying this manatee. So he pedals out there in one of those fucking pedal boats.
The swan
with
pedal
the
boat.
swan neck. And goes out there and gets the bullies to leave the manatee alone, but then he calls them a bunch of rubes because he can't stop using that word. Yeah. And they go back and start knocking Homer around, and then the hillbilly cousins, who also have a boat, show up and save Homer.
He still could show them no respect.
Yeah, still is just like, oh, you simple country mouse. It's like, you fucking asshole. Marge takes Homer back because there's that fun scene where it's like he's all like beaten up and basically is just behaving like a manatee because he also is a big dumb animal that needs help because he's defenseless. So she takes him back, and she's going to care for Homer and get something out of it now. And meanwhile, Homer is like, we should stay here at the beach for a few days. And she's like, well, don't you need to be back at work? And then we cut to a manatee in Homer's clothes.
That was good, too.
Taking Homer's place at work. And Burns and Smithers comes in. And he's like, who's that? And Smithers is like, I think it's a manatee posing as Homer Simpson. And he seems real dehydrated. And then they just show those two, like, hosing down the manatee.
Rolling their sleeves up.
And having, like, water play fight.
Yeah, the manatee's enjoying itself.
Yeah, they're just having fun.
That was some good, weird Simpsons.
Yeah.
This, fine episode.
Yeah, totally fine. Yep, I was into it.
I like the chalkboard gag. All it was, does any kid do this anymore? Which I've been wondering if that's going to come up.
Yeah. Does anyone write? I don't think I ever had to write sentences on a chalkboard. I for sure had to write sentences on paper.
For punishment, you mean?
Yeah, as a punishment.
Really?
Yeah.
So I think there were a couple teachers that did it when I was like grade school age, but I was a good boy, so I never had to. But I think it was very rare. It was probably a couple of the more old school teachers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I only a couple of times in elementary school had to write sentences.
Did you have a thing where it was the name? You get your name on the board if you were naughty, or name in the. So in grade school, we had name on the board. That's, hey, if you act up, you get your name on the board, you act up again, you get a check mark. And that check mark meant there'd be repercussions.
Okay. No, we didn't have that. Like, we had one teacher who had, like, some fucking construction paper art project that he made with all our names, and once you get 5 stars next to your name, you have to stay after school or some fucking nonsense. He worked there for like a year, and then everyone's like, this 6th grade teacher's a dud. The only one that really sticks with me is the 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Strom, who was 1,000 years old. She was also my dad's 3rd grade teacher.
Yep, there's a couple of those where I went to too.
She would, up on the board, there was the number that is how many minutes recess lasts. And like that starts at like 25. And then every time somebody would act up, she'd erase it and take time off, depending on how shitty you kids were being.
Interesting.
And then that was a good way because it made us turn on each other.
Yep.
She was smart. So like 25 minutes of full normal recess, and then fucking one of the Levi's says some jack off thing, and now it's 23, and now we all hate Levi. You know,
that's devious but smart.
Yeah.
I remember we had a ancient 150-year-old substitute teacher that I remember she would be the one that sometimes would be in charge of us when the overachieving kids had band and the rest of us skids just sat around and mouth breathed on each other. So they just had to kill 20 minutes before lunch. I remember one time watching her eat a saltine. the energy it took her to eat one saltine cracker would be what it would take a normal man to climb Mount Everest. Just watching her jaw just ache. I remember she started coughing because she smoked filterless cigarettes, which is a true G move.
It's hard to even
And
find.
she coughed vaporized saltine. She's not even done, man. This battle's just beginning. Like, we all watched this elderly fucking little raisin human try to eat one. She's getting paid to watch us.
Oh,
we
God.
could fold her up like a tent and just tie the neck of her blouse and just put her on a shelf, and she wouldn't have the strength to break out. Oh my God, yeah.
I'm shocked you didn't, knowing what kind of little asshole.
Yeah, right.
You
If I would have planted that seed in the wrong kid's ear, there would have been an attempt made.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Not Mrs. Strom. She was just taking minutes off recess, making us hate each
That's
other.
the smart thing to do.
Setting up a fucking Lord of the Flies situation.
At some point when I was in high school, they made the thing where if you got in trouble more than twice, or maybe even twice, you had to take your semester tests. Before if you didn't do it, you didn't have to. You only had to take your semesters if you got in trouble that many times, or you were a D or F in the class. So the dum-dums and the naughty boys had to take the tests. Everyone else.
The dum-dums and the naughty boys?
But like...
that's my favorite tag team matchup from 1992's WCW.
Some Herd era WCW. The dum-dums were covered little candies.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like think of like shouldn't just everyone take semester tests?
Yes,
yeah, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. So that was just, if you didn't get in trouble, that was 2 days off, maybe. It was so great looking back.
She would just like, well, I'm knocking off 5 minutes because Sean put a thumbtack on Amy's chair again.
Yeah.
Now she's crying.
Yeah, you got a kid bellering.
Amy was a crier.
Yeah, there's kids that were, the criers.
Yep.
And then some of the dipshit delinquent kids, they would pick at that. Like, you don't want her fucking crying. Mm-hmm. Ruin it for everybody.
Yep.
Find some fucking fresh meat.
No, now we got to knock 5 more minutes off recess because we all made fun of Matthew for peeing his pants in the coat room. Now he's got to wear sweatpants the rest of the day. Or snow pants, I mean.
Fuck, man. I'm glad I never pissed my pants in school.
Likewise.
Yeah, I did not need to give anyone that ammo.
Because I just gave you an example of people don't forget.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no shit. Yeah, that happened 28 years ago. We're up to episode 2 in season 17. That is The Girl Who Slept Too Little. The Simpsons' the family's sleep is interrupted by construction of what turns out to be a stamp museum. Like the whole community's against it. Like, I think it's Lenny or Carl's like, our neighborhood's going to be overrun with philatelists or whatever
that's Carl who says it. And Lenny's like, why wouldn't you just say stamp collectors? And Carl, quick as a whip, is just like, because I'm tired of having to dumb myself down for you.
Their relationship is very interesting.
I adore those two.
Their relationships blossoming and Milhouse's character becoming more weird as two of the better things that have happened in the last 6 to 7 seasons of The Simpsons.
Agreed. Yep.
I mean, a lot of it hasn't improved, but some things have. So The Simpsons, they are all about the revolution is in the air. They have all sorts of stuff they want to do to halt the construction, including Marge apparently burning a truck driver alive.
Yep.
He actually starts a cab of a truck on fire. That man burns.
I like that he comes shouting out of the truck just like, oh, come back for my rack, my wife said. Get a safe job like truck driving.
And then there was a good gig where Bart ties himself to a drill bit on some and it just starts drilling and goes into the ground. Like, oh shit, that don't look good. He comes out again. But finally he has enough. So that's enough.
And then but then the guy keeps doing it. Like, that was a good joke.
So they are doing all they can to stop that stamp museum from getting built, which they succeed in.
Yeah.
Their
revolution works.
Yeah, they stopped the stamp museum from being built next door, but they now in that property they've now moved in the Springfield Cemetery instead.
Which is so bonkers. Like, okay, fine, we'll go put it over where the cemetery is and move the cemetery here.
Yeah, it's only in Springfield, only in an animated show.
Which, what a lot of, fucking literary flexibility you have to exhibit for how do we get an episode where the Simpsons live next to the graveyard?
Right, yeah. Are most of your kin buried in a fancy Catholic cemetery? You're thrown out in some hillbilly cemetery with 14 tombstones?
Well, I have no idea. I think a lot of the Wells side is Catholic, so I think they're in the town cemetery. And honestly, I don't know where the other half would be.
Oh.
Like from my mom's side of the family, I'm not sure where they end up.
Yeah, we have handful of mine are like my grandparents. I know they're in like the big town cemetery, but I got a few relatives that are up in a hillbilly cemetery. Which
there's a lot of like home cemeteries where I come from.
I'm truly a believer. Throw me in the woods, but if I had to settle, if I am going to get buried and go through the trouble of a tombstone, I like to be in a hillbilly cemetery. Mm-hmm. There's just a little plywood sign, just like
I'm a cremation person. Spend as little as possible and sprinkle me somewhere you like. I don't
Arby's.
Yes, sprinkle me at an Arby's. I would not be the worst thing at an Arby's.
Well, the ringtone of Bone Thugs' Crossroads plays on my phone.
Not even like the song. Just
I don't want to get sued.
Like, just the plink plonk fucking beat boop.
Bing bong bing boom bing bing boom. Bing bong a bing a bing boom a bing boom.
Is that the Crossroads by Bone Thugs? Oh.
Is that a audio interpretation of the Crossroads? Yes.
Have some respect for the dead in this Arby's.
All of this during noon rush.
Curly fries coming.
So many angry construction workers waiting behind us. We only have 45 minutes.
As we've said before, we dunk on Arby's, but I like Arby's.
Yeah, Arby's is just as good or as bad, depending how you look at it, as most fast food places.
I very nearly had some Arby's the other day, which isn't a story.
Yep. Just sharing. Sharing's good.
Oh, I thought about it, and then I didn't. Thank you, Marlon.
I think this came up in here before, but I don't think... I know it was for us, but I think you mentioned stamp collecting was never a thing where you grew up.
Not ever.
Yeah, it had its moment in the sun.
But it's crazy to me that there was a moment where stamp collecting was cool for you.
Yep.
And not just you, but you and your kin.
At least acceptable. Like, you wouldn't get your balls busted. I just think I remember someone came when I was in the 3rd grade and spoke to the classes about stamp collecting.
Huh.
How lonesome was that man?
Yeah, what did he do the rest of his day?
Right? Yeah, he was traveling. He was a traveling guy. Could you imagine what that life is like?
I just travel to tiny towns in the Great Plains and tell them the joys of stamp collecting.
An out-of-towner, because that was, there's someone that we don't know here. And when you live in a small town, that is noteworthy.
Yeah.
Like this
probably made it in the paper.
Our car plates don't look like this guy's car plates.
He's got different colored ones.
Do we kill him or accept him?
That's always the question, right?
We killed the last one.
At one point, once they moved the cemetery in next door, Marge is like, oh, I don't like spooky things. I don't even like the Count on Sesame Street, which Maggie is watching. Yeah. And he does the 1, 2, 3 and laughs. And Marge goes, go back to your own country, which is an insane thought to have about the Count from Sesame Street. Holy shit, did I laugh at that.
That was good.
Because she leans into it. Just go back to your own country.
She is
Jesus,
not having it.
You have xenophobia regarding a Muppet?
She is, unless she's anti-Transylvanianite or whatever that would be.
That is racist, is what it is.
Her racism is limited to a specific region of Romania, so it could be worse.
Yeah,
she's not going to offend a lot of people.
She only hates the felt.
Yeah. So Lisa is the super spooked by the living next now to the cemetery. She starts having nightmares that prevent her from sleeping. She starts sneaking into Homer and Marge's room, which resonates with me. I was that kid when I was little. Started sneaking into my parents' room because I get scared when I was real little. To the point I learned where the creaky noises were in our trailer house. Which, looking back, trailer houses are poorly assembled when there's creaky spots 6 years after it was built. That trailer house should have been creaky free, but no. See, I would do that a lot. I guess my mom tells it, or my dad tells a terrifying story of just waking up and I'm sitting on their bed, leaning over, staring at them, just waiting for them to wake up. How much would you jump if that happened? But I think my mom woke up one time and I was kneeling on their bed, looking out the window. Just imagine having a child kneeling at the foot of your bed, look like, what's that kid looking at?
Terrifying.
Right? Yeah. It's almost like I just wanted to spread the terror to them. Like, I'm scared, so you should be scared too.
The only time I ever ventured to like my parents' room at night was
Snacks.
if I were
Ma, Pringles! Free 38. Free Pringles.
You're 17.
Open hand clapping. Ma, Pringles! You got a horn, you toot. Toot, Pringles.
Boys blowing the Pringles horn again. I gotta
Get some starch in him.
Oh God, we gotta drown that boy. No, it was if I were sick, if I had gotten sick. And I vividly remember like being a little kid and being like, okay, I have thrown up all over this bedroom, and now I got to man up, and I gotta go downstairs, and I gotta wake up mom and break the news.
The way a kid pukes when you're little, so just fucking let it buck. Just everything's covered. It was like spinning. It makes no sense. Like that, I've talked on here, but that time I leaned over the edge of my bunk bed and just puked all over my brother who was hanging off the edge of it. If someone did that, I would fight them on a if a stranger puked on me on an Amtrak train, I would wait for them to use the bathroom and stomp them. I would commit a felony, you sick fucker.
You're my friend. If you threw up right now, it would really test our friendship.
Yeah. Like if I just casually leaned over and vomited all over all of this. Like, hey, my bad, man. I'm getting sick.
I'd be like, are you kidding me? The fuck is wrong with you?
Your legs don't work. You're a little just puke in the bed you're sleeping in. Fuck, having kids is insane. I mean, you fucking step into me? Like, it's disrespectful the way you're treating my house.
I remember several times as a youth laying in bed, getting that my mouth is watering too much thing, and like, nope, I got this. I got this. Oh no. And then throwing up all over my room.
Oh yeah.
And then there's that like sobering moment of like, oh no, I have to go downstairs and wake up mom.
Yeah.
This is so bad. And walking all the way downstairs and then standing in the doorway like, Mom, trying to wake up mom without waking up dad.
I'm not well.
It'd be like, I don't feel good.
Just and they could see puke footprints. Like, I'd be so fucking mad. How'd you get your feet in it? Well, because it's everywhere, Mom. The bed is full of puke. It's so full, Mom. There's so much puke.
It is amazing that any parent keeps a child after their first, like
I remember
childhood age throw up.
I remember one time my dad was gone, which was rare in the evenings, and me and my mom and my brother, I think, just had a little fun mom only, and the boys went and had pizza.
Yeah.
And my brother was really little. He was still wearing diapers, and he was starting to get sick. And like, oh, we got to get home. And I remember she set him on the couch, and he had like a blowout, and he shit white diarrhea blasted out from his. So we are not a family of means, and this couch needs to be burned. And my mom was like, oh no, and he's sick, and he's being fussy and crying. There's white shit. That's a sign the devil's coming. And I am like dancing because I'm like, yes, there's white poop everywhere, Mom. I think it's the best thing that's happened to our family. So she has to tell me to fuck off while she's trying to wrangle a kid covered in demon shit. Like, Jesus, why? Man.
I love the cherry on top of that is you being like,
I literally
look at
feel
that.
the excitement. This is 38 years ago. I remember just like, yes, look at all that weird shit. Oh man, he's in trouble. Like, look, he's very sick. I'm just like, he's busted. You can't shit white on the couch, dumb baby. That's not where shit goes at all.
That's not the
We're not even in the right
room.
room.
Are you a bird?
That's what it looked like. It was the weirdest thing, and he was sick. Oh boy! Remember how bad being sick would kick your ass as a kid?
Yeah, man, you'd be wrecked for a day and a half.
Yeah, just out. It was just or remember a little kid's sore throat would just be like, I guess I'm done swallowing. I'm just gonna choke on my own spit.
For me, it was ear infections. I got ear infections as a kid.
Never had one in my life.
No, really?
Yeah.
Fucking la-dee-da over here.
And like my cousins, I remember my cousin Ryan, he had to get tubes in his ears because he got them so much.
I have a friend, who has tubes in her ears.
Is that what stopped you from doing a lot of swimming as a child?
No, I couldn't swim is what stopped me from swimming as a child.
Say, like, for you, having tubes in your ears would not have mattered. But as a kid, it was always like, oh, you can't have your head underwater.
Yeah, it never got that far. Yeah. Like, I had a dozen other things keeping me from swimming, mostly that I couldn't swim.
We lived in a desert.
Yes.
the high desert.
The logistics of it all. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
But yeah, getting sick as a kid, rough stuff. Don't shit white on your mom's couch either. She does not want that.
Put that on the
Not
t-shirt.
even normal shit. Heavy shit. Don't.
Let's take color out of it.
Let's try to get through 2021 shit free on all of our couches.
All right. Hands in, everybody.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Ready, break.
3.5 months. Just don't shit on the couch. Man, I have gotten wasted. Many dozens, if not. I've never shit. I don't think, if I've shit where I shouldn't shit, it was for comedic value. It's never been like I am incapacitated and I'm just throwing logs on a hotel couch right now. Like,
well, I'm glad.
Thank you. Thank you. I needed that.
You.
I have friends that, if it's, hey, everyone that hasn't shit somewhere, take a step forward. Their feet ain't fucking moving. It's like, oh, fuck.
See, I also have not shit where I shouldn't, but I didn't think that was remarkable. I didn't think that was a thing to bring up, but I guess.
You say piss where you shouldn't? I would be staying right where I'm at.
I mean, you fucking pull off the side of the road and take a leak, you're pissing where you shouldn't.
Well, I mean.
You know, where's the line, Nathan?
Couches, beds, other people's walls, mailboxes.
Oh boy.
Apartment complexes, entryways. There are a few places I haven't pissed.
I was about to say, is the opposite list shorter?
It might be. The moon. I've never pissed on the moon. I got a lot of continents I haven't pissed on. This was a Simpsons podcast, if you remember.
Yeah, before it got where it
Piddle Talk with Nathan and Marlon. So they're really struggling trying to figure out how to get Lisa to make Staith the night, which I think as a parent can really be a struggle. I know it was for me, just figuring out how to get your kid to not have night terrors and stuff. And Lisa's really struggling. She keeps sneaking into Homer and Marge's room. Lisa tries to conquer her fear by sleeping in the cemetery. I thought it was going to be her and Bart, but no. Bart walks her to the gate. It's like,
and
smell
then
you later.
Yeah.
Maybe Lisa thought she had to conquer on her own. Would it bug you to spend a night in a cemetery?
I mean, like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather sleep in my own bed like a normal person.
Yeah.
But as far as like,
hey, we'll give you $500 to do this.
Fucking give me the money. Like I don't. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if you're familiar with Ray Parker Jr.
Yeah. Oh, am I ever? Yeah, that's what I want playing at my funeral on a loop.
Ghostbusters.
That and either Jay Giles hit.
Okay.
I just think I want dumb shit playing on a loop where people are very perplexed. Why is this like just like classic rock radio?
This is like the 8th time we've heard Centerfold.
This
what are we
can't be
doing?
The radio. There's like, because we have a gigantic Nightmare Fuel abandoned insane asylum in my hometown or nearby, and that was like, would you spend the night there for $1,000? Like, yeah, I'll just find a quiet room. Like the one thing is I have to be able to choose the night and not tell you, just provide proof, because if we were to do this, you guys would get your bang for your buck. But like if I could go and just do it on my own and document it, yeah. And I was a scary boy. I was scared of shit as a kid, but it's like $1,000. What is it? There's ghosts. Ghosts gonna eat you. What is the ghosts gonna do? You fucking
you're telling me I can pay off a credit card by sleeping somewhere I don't usually?
And I had a lot of friends that were like, "You're out of your mind." I'm like, I'd be like, what is going to happen?
Right.
Explain to me what's going to happen.
The thing I would be most worried about is like a critter. Like, no, I don't want to sleep there because there's probably rats or something.
Or me, it'd be like another group of dipshit teenagers from another small town.
Right.
Like, fucking scaring the shit out of me. Like, me scaring them more likely. Who the fuck is laying there?
Oh, God.
Yeah. But so Lisa is now in the cemetery, and she's immediately shook. She regrets this decision pretty quick, which was a pretty good gag. So she stumbles on Dr. Nick grave robbing.
So good.
So good. Like, you're due for your checkup. Like, we actually go to another doctor. I think he's kind of like, that's smart.
Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, you should.
Yeah. That's a good on your parents for making that happen. Lisa, and kind of like she's scared of something. I think maybe some bats burst out of a bush and scare her. She ends up tripping over and bonking her head. So she just has a bunch of nightmares, all kind of spooky, some kind of silly. And it gets to a point where she sees all the characters from where the wild things are, like all the big spooky monster looking things.
Which they like have referred to several times in this episode as Land of the Wild Beasts. Like, are you telling me that you, the Simpsons, can't afford to get where the wild things are?
Unless they're like weirdly protective of
like
that
maybe he's, I don't know if that guy is weird about it.
Yeah, maybe.
No
That's
idea.
the only thing I could think of. Yeah.
That would make sense as to why they never got a movie off the ground until well into the 20-teens.
Yeah, 50 years after the book came out.
Yeah.
So Lisa, and then, she's scared, but then, the dream doesn't answer. She's like, finally, like, oh, you guys are just things that are in my head. Like, I don't got to be scared of you. So I was kind of like, yay, Lisa.
Lisa overcame her fear.
Yeah.
Yep.
And during all this time, there's a good scene where, like, Bart is just casually drinking a soda and watching TV. And they're like, well, where's Lisa? She's in the cemetery. Like, what? She want to go, I don't know, just had some things she wanted to do. Like, and you're okay with this? Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, he's just very nonplussed by it. I figured maybe the best place for me is to watch the news for updates. But you're watching cartoons. Yeah. I love how nonplussed Bart is by all this.
So Homer and Marge are in the cemetery. There's a couple of good gags, but then they find Lisa, and Lisa's not scared anymore.
Yep.
Nice, fun, little positive end to the episode.
There's a fun moment where Homer is like, oh, please, if you just get up, you can have a pony. And she immediately sits up, opens her eyes, and goes, a pony? Yeah. And he goes, no, you're still dreaming. Now you're awake. Yeah. That was fun. There's a moment earlier in this episode where Homer says bullshit, and we bleep it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did you miss that? I forget where that is. It's I think it's around or maybe after when they actually go visit the stamp museum.
That's a good gag too. Like, why would they put a stamp museum way out in the middle of nowhere?
Why wouldn't they build one closer to our house? She's just like, Homer, you just fought tooth and nail to get them to build it away from your house. But yeah, I forget what he says. I think it's in the stamp museum because there's like that little presentation of Land of the Wild Beasts or whatever it's called. And he bursts in and says something about this is bullshit.
Really?
And we just bleep it. And it's so weird to see in The Simpsons of all things.
I don't know if I like that.
I didn't. Yeah. That's why I wrote it down. I was like, I don't like that. Huh. I also love the gag that Lenny is making a fucking killing on parking fees. Oh, thank God they built it next to my house. I can charge all this money for parking.
Yeah. I think are they parking in his yard?
They're just parking on his lawn. Yeah. It's like good for Lenny. Good for Lenny.
I think that's the thing that happens in some cities where like this football stadium is right in a residential neighborhood. Like, pull on in, make $20. That would be pretty rad. Like if you live right by, you know, like Lambeau, charge 8 cars $20 2 times a month in the fall. Yeah, that's that's paying
not bad.
Your utilities.
Yeah. That's what I would be doing.
If you live in Wisconsin, you might already have a shitty yard. Maybe you're not taking care of it, so you don't care.
Especially in the winter.
Yeah. Oh, good call. Ground's froze. Fuck.
We also get a new character, Gravedigger Billy, which was very strange. It's groundskeeper Willie's twin brother who's in a raincoat and has one milky eye.
Oh, I forgot about the milky eye. That was a nice touch.
This is weird. I bet that's not a real character.
What causes milky eye? Is that a glaucoma thing?
Milk, mostly.
Is it too much dairy?
Dairy, yes.
Well, I love dairy too much. I guess I'm getting milky eyes. I have no
idea. I bet there's 100 different things that cause a milky eye, if I were to guess.
I hope I can live a long, healthy life without milky eyes.
Yeah, that's something to hope for, something to strive for.
Mm-hmm. A man my size and my shape with a milky eye, I become a legend amongst children. This scary troll beast with the goop eye.
Yeah, you don't want that. You want to avoid that.
I need to have less reasons for children to run in terror.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you to not get a milky eye.
I appreciate it.
Episode number 3 is Mill House of Sand and Fog.
Hell of a reference.
Yeah, no shit, huh? We also got a fucking Bonfires of the Manatee earlier. I'm like, man, we're real swinging with these fucking references. We get a glimpse into the new black church that the Hibberts are going to, which my immediate touchstone of cultural relevancy is always the Blues Brothers. Oh. I was like, it's like the church in the Blues Brothers. Yeah. That's where the Hibberts go now. They don't go to Reverend Lovejoy's church anymore. Yeah. The Simpsons show up and take him Maggie because Maggie has the chicken pox. Yep.
How old were you when you got the pox?
Old enough that I remember it, but not a whole bunch past that. I'm going to say between 5 and 8.
I'm old, or I was young enough I do not remember it.
Oh, okay.
I was like 3 from what I've been told.
I think like this episode turns into Homer has a pox party. Mm-hmm. I want to say someone where I came from had a pox party.
No shit.
I don't think it was my parents, really? But I think one of the other kids' parents had a pox party. I might be wrong, but I feel like that's real.
Well, I think I have mentioned this on the podcast that I was in the 1st grade, and on like a Wednesday, one kid was out of school. Thursday there was 2. Friday there was like 4. Everyone, so and so called in sick. I showed up on Monday. It was just me and Lane Orkey, and it was like being the little kids trapped in a toy store because Mrs. Dunlap's like, well, shit, I can't teach you guys. Everyone will be so far behind. So
yeah.
Like, don't break anything. So we just got
movie day.
Yeah. Did she just let us play with the toys? A few things that were. I was a dork. I probably read a couple books, like, I'll catch up on my SRAs.
That would have been me. Yeah. Oh, finally some quiet reading time.
Lane, keep it down.
I can finally make my way through a good chunk of Johnny Tremaine. I should be able to finish it today. Oh, you're so bad at silversmithing.
The other kid's just looking at you with disgust.
I'm making better time than I thought. I could start Tuck Everlasting before the school bell rings.
I wonder if Tuck Everlasting is still a forced upon you book for most like 2nd or 3rd graders at some point.
Probably.
Yeah, that was always. I always in my head put Tuck Everlasting with Where the Red Fern Grows.
Okay.
I don't know.
We didn't read that one.
Okay. Let's put those together in my head as that level of reading.
I'm trying to think of like the kids books that we had. Well, not kids books, but like junior high reading books. And it was like Tuck Everlasting was in there. Fucking probably The Giving Tree.
Didn't read it, but I remember that being a thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if The Hatchet were one of those.
He just passed away.
Johnny Tremaine.
Gary
The Hatchet
Paulson.
did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Not the fictional character, the author.
So Maggie has the chicken pox. We find out that Homer has never had it, which I didn't know that was a thing, that any adult, and maybe it's not, this is The Simpsons, that any adult would have never had the chicken pox.
That happens. I think I got like a random aunt or uncle that never got it.
Huh. So much like in here, do they have to run away if a kid
really
has it?
Jack you up, yeah.
Yeah, because it'll fuck you up bad as an adult, right?
Yep. But then it also, even if you've had it, it can just fire up later in life as shingles, which we have that to look forward to.
Oh, fun.
You are probably getting close to the youngest person you'll meet that has chicken pox. Well, maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years younger than you. They have a vaccine.
Oh, no shit? Like kids after us don't get chicken pox?
No, my ex would be 27, and she's like, oh yeah.
That's a brag is what that was. Look at you.
Flexing. I've touched a girl. I've smooched. But she was like, yeah, I've never met anyone that ever had the chicken pox. I'm like, what?
That's insane.
Yeah, right? She's like,
I mean, that's good.
Yeah, it's like,
good.
no, I never saw a kid with chicken pox. I've only seen it like in cartoons where people have spots. It's like, no shit.
It's like hopscotch. It's just on television.
Yeah, right?
It's not real.
It's so crazy.
That's
that was
wild.
such a part of well, for me, I'd already had it. So that was the flex for me. Like, hey, you guys can tremble in fear. I've been all bumped up.
I've lived through it. You kids are soft.
Yeah. I remember my mom saying that. She's like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. She's like, because you know what? A 3-year-old's already an asshole. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, they're already needy.
Oh, he's going to be more irritable because he's itchy?
If your 7-year-old gets it, your 7-year-old up until that point just a normal kid. Now all of a sudden they're a battle axe to put up with, you know? Like...
Yeah, I would have to find out if I were like a real pain in the ass to deal with. I don't know. Yeah. I can't imagine. I was pretty good at being told directions back then, so it was probably like, don't scratch or complain. You got it.
I gotcha. Oh boy, not scratching something when you're a little kid though, and if it's itchy, that's tough. I'm a lizard brain. You're all lizard brain at that age, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
React to the stimuli. You say it in that voice of a little kid, just start scratching. He has a lizard monologue.
So, Ned informs Homer that pox parties are a thing, and that parents will bring their kids over so they can catch pox in order to get it over with. So Homer gonna throw a pox party. He's charging admission, which I like. I also like that we turn this just into a party, and the parents are getting hammered on margaritas in the kitchen.
I'm going record. I fucking love this episode.
Yeah, this is a fun episode. I like an adult. Like parents' cocktail party.
Yeah, which it didn't exist where I grew up at.
Like I vaguely remember like Christmases and like New Year's Eves back home where it was like, a couple of my friends' parents would come over for New Year's Eve and mom would make slush that I wasn't allowed to drink because it was full of hooch. Yeah. Like I remember a handful of those.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And looking at it now as an adult, I'm like, good for them.
Yeah.
Like we owned swizzle sticks and good for us. Like what a cocktail family.
Never. Like that was a going out night. That was going to grandma's because mom and dad were going to go to the bar.
Oh, okay.
That was like the only time I ever saw anyone drink beer in my house, but that wasn't an aunt and or uncle, was my dad's poker nights.
Okay.
That was there was never ladies drunkenly laughing at our house unless I was related to them. There's never hard alcohol. Like I don't ever remember. The only booze ever consumed was beer. I ever remember seeing it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's weird to think of, but yeah.
Not a lot back home either, but every so often.
It's a fancy night. Hey. Man.
Yeah. Other than the
Eve.
blackberry brandy and the chore pickup.
Yeah. That was ice fishing booze where I came from.
Okay.
Take a little swig of black.
Keep you warm.
The sad uncle that never could find someone after they got divorced. It's like, boy. Really trying to befriend a 14-year-old far too hard right now. Super lonesome.
So the parents are getting schmammered in their kitchen. Both of the Van Houtens are there, Luann and Kirk.
Is there a bad Van Houten-centric episode?
No, there's no such thing. We find out that Luann is not dating that American Gladiator anymore. And Kirk is like, they're having some cocktails and Kirk's getting his chemicals up. And he like, so you think I got a chance again? And she's like, anybody's got a chance. I like
good line.
I love drunk Luann.
And when Marge hands him that fancy drink, I never drank one of these without a cigarette in it. What a thing to say out loud. Like, you're a 40-something-year-old man
who's never had a margarita that didn't have a cigarette in it.
Which I'm thinking means he just waits for people to leave their table at a restaurant.
That's what I took from it.
Oh my God, that's sad.
Milhouse sees his parents making out and is immediately excited about the prospect of them being back together. Homer, in the meantime, caught chickenpox because, of course, he did. Milhouse's hopes are all the way up. He thinks they're getting back together and it's going to be great. But he kind of gets pushed aside by his folks because they're caught up in the throes of it. Yeah. You know, so they're getting caught on reigniting these ashes, as it were. So they're pushing Milhouse out the door. So he and Bart figured that they're going to break them up again because it was better when they were apart.
He got so much affection from both of them.
Yeah.
And also, he lets Bart know, hey, remember how good this was for you, too? Because there's a great line like, remember that time you told my dad to go to bed and he did? That's such an awesome thing for a 10-year-old to do.
That's such a great line. I also wrote that down word for word. You remember when you told my dad to go to bed and he did? Like, imagine your childhood friends at that age telling your dad to go to bed.
Going to bed is such a good punishment. Go to bed. Someone's sending you to bed against your will as an adult.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that they're a child. Like, holy shit! And then I think Bart even says, "Yeah, that was a great New Year's."
Yeah, right.
What the? This was also a New Year's party. Oh. We get a long joke here making fun of the OC, which went right past me because I've never seen that show.
Yeah, I remember that theme song.
I recognize the song,
and I remember it being like a thing. Like, oh, this is the hot teen drama.
Yeah, I remember that it existed.
But it's like, this is. I am not even at that age. I wasn't the target audience anymore.
Yeah.
I like the couple failed attempts at breaking them up. There's one where I think Milhouse tries to convince his mom he's drunk.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Dad let me have a beer.
Yeah. He's like, no, you're not. She just immediately
sells it.
I'm drunk. I'll prove it. Watch me kiss this picture of Nana. He takes that framed picture. He's like, I can't do it. She's so mean to me. She wouldn't let me eat Fruit Loops. Oh, Milhouse. God, they've made his character so good.
God, never change.
Yeah.
They do eventually figure out the way to break him up. They plant a bra in her bedroom, or their bedroom, I guess, in order to make Luann think that Kirk is sleeping around on her. And I like that the bra is labeled Marge's. Like, she's written it on the tag, like property of Marge Simpson, as if she's gonna lose it somewhere.
Yeah, because Marge is the kind of woman that would write that tag on her kids' underpants.
Yes.
But like, yeah, why on her own?
Well, because we need the rest of the episode to happen.
Very true.
So Luann confronts Homer about, like, oh, your wife is sleeping with my husband. Tell her to knock it off. And now Homer's distraught because he thinks his wife is sleeping around on him. And then Marge comes home. He confronts her, and now she's pissed that he thinks that she's oh, my God. Dominoes falling.
Bart has really dug a family hole here.
Yeah, Bart really set us back a while. Homer and Marge blow up, and Homer leaves. Lisa is now pressuring Bart to fess up to his fucking ruse. And Bart sets up this whole thing with a fake Bart on top of a cliff, and he's like, okay, so they've made this dummy Bart, and okay, I'm gonna make a big ordeal to get their attention, because he's written each of them a letter saying come meet by the river. And so he's like, what? I can't stand you two fighting. I'm gonna jump. And then Milhouse's job is to knock the fake Bart off of the cliff, but he can't see through his glasses, so he knocks the real Bart in the river. And now the parents got to work together and save Bart, and they do. And then we get an insane little tag on the end of Milhouse going, I don't want to live in a world without Bart. And he throws himself off the cliff into the river. And as he's floating by, about to go over the waterfall, Marge goes, can he swim? And Bart just goes, what do you think? And that's the end of the episode.
God, that is a good
Jesus.
How calm Bart is with that response.
What do you think?
One thing that they like, the saving of Homer and Bart when they're in the makes no sense. Like, it's almost like Marge, here, grab my hair, and then it's like, well, and then it's like, oh, things are real perilous, and then they're safe. It's like, put a bow on it.
Yeah, just wrap it up.
Got to short it, but man, this is a good episode.
A lot of good Milhouse content, which I'm always there for. A lot of good Kirk content, which I'm there for.
There was a gag earlier that I really liked too, where at the party, the Pox party, they hire Krusty to entertain the kids, but they can only afford 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Such a great amount of time.
So he like does a setup, but then the buzzer goes off and he doesn't get to the punchline, and he just laughs and leaves. Yeah, that was a fun episode.
This season is starting out very well.
So far, so good.
Yep. We're up to episode 4, Treehouse of Horror 16. Episode starts with a kind of an enjoyable aliens gag to start things off. They're watching baseball because at this point Fox must have the rights to baseball. Yeah. It is pointing out the real boring minutia of baseball, and they're like, "This is maddening. How do we speed it up?" And they do some kind of like
The Acceloray.
Interdimensional, like fucking of the time-space continuum. And it starts spinning to speed the game up, and then it just completely...
devours the universe.
Including God.
Yep. God falls into the whirlpool.
Yeah, so it's because we get a smooth move space lax.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Fun. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, I'll just leave a note, and then there's the post-it stuck on the blank white screen that says Treehouse of Horror 16.
Yeah. So that was a good kickoff
that was
to
fun.
it.
I liked that one.
And it's going to be weird if they ever deviate from the formula of the 3 shorts.
Yeah. Yeah,
because maybe eventually they will, but they don't in this season. They don't yet. The first one is BI, Artificial Intelligence. You ever see AI?
I did. I saw it once.
Me too. Right.
I remember not liking it.
Oh, see, I remember kind of being intrigued, but it's long. It's long. Yeah.
I prefer of the Android movies of that time. I prefer Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams.
I've never seen that. Interesting.
But I won't proclaim to like either of them, but I do think one is better than the other.
Bicentennial Man was one of the first movies that dimmed Robin Williams' like shine as a big time marketable movie star.
Yeah, that was a kind of a rare flop for him.
He had that and the movie where he's dressed up like maybe George Washington on the cover on like the VHS. He like runs for president or something like that. That movie lost a bunch of money too, I think. So he had like
Flubber, yeah,
Flubber. That's the presidential version of Flubber.
President Flubber.
The Flubber prequel, where his great grandfather brings Flubber to the War of 1812. So Bart falls into a coma after jumping into the swimming pool at Patty and Selma's apartment complex. Horseplay gone awry. Gotta watch it.
You can't be horsing around.
You
can't be jumping out windows and shit. Read a book.
Lay down. So Bart is incapacitated. They don't know for how long because Hibbert is being very. We get evil Hibbert every once in a while. It's like, it's better than being dead because I get to still charge you for this. And
he says the same thing a minute later. Just to really drive home that Hibbert's here to make cash, baby.
So the Simpsons, they're distraught, but then you know what? Technology has caught up to us. We can buy a robot son who proves to be a better son than Bart in every way possible.
Of course, yeah. Of course, he's perfect.
So Bart is very upset because he eventually does wakes up from his coma.
Yeah.
Get a little finger twitch, then he gets out. And he's obviously, and I cannot blame him. Hey, what the fuck is this?
You replaced me.
There's a great language. Eat my shorts. Okay. He rips his shorts off, eats them, and then shits out a bear, like a little stuffed bear.
A teddy bear for Maggie. My favorite visual of this entire thing, until a little bit later when we're at the zoo, was the fact that he can make waffles, that his head is a waffle maker. You just open up the front of his face and pull a waffle out of there.
Yeah, that was good.
God, that was funny.
So Bart is kind of left out, they kind of try to make it work, but then
we get like a little montage of David just being better at everything than Bart is.
To the point, it's almost like when a shitty family wants to get rid of a dog. They make him a promise of going to the zoo or going to, and it's just Homer driving him out into the woods and leaving him there, which kicks him out of the car.
Which was very funny.
Yeah, that was very good. And he wanders through the woods until he finds a group of kind of like misfit robots, so there's a similar scene in AI with all these broken, half-assed robots. And he explains, what was I supposed to, I was a vacuum cleaner or whatever it was.
Or a lawnmower.
Yeah, it meant lawnmower. I can mow it 3 different whatever, and just a little, and they're like, we're all kind of a ragtag bunch, but you'll become part of the family in no time. So it's almost kind of like a camaraderie feel.
Yeah.
And then morning comes, and they're all missing parts.
Bart has harvested them.
Yeah, Jesus, that's a harsh term for beings that seem to be alive. And has made himself into Mecha Bart.
Yeah,
he's just giant, can't fit through the door.
He looks like Ripley at the end of Aliens in the loader.
Yeah. He comes in, and he's ready. He's there to destroy. Does the boy have a name? David?
Yep.
He's going to destroy David. And David's I think he picks up Homer thinking that will stop him.
Yeah.
Doesn't even hesitate.
Just cuts Homer in half.
Cuts Homer's legs off and splits David down the middle pretty much. So that's that. It cuts to Bart still in his robot body, just relaxing. And there's Homer trying to cook burgers with the little shitty spindly David legs.
Yep.
That was a good sight gag. And one of the legs snaps under the weight. It can't handle it.
Yeah, creaks and shakes and then just shatters.
Yeah, so good for shit Homer. I like when bad things happen to Homer when he's being this version of Homer.
Yeah. But then he wakes up and it was all a dream and he's possessed by a demon and we're doing the Exorcist scene.
Yeah, which didn't make any sense.
That was one more step that we didn't need. I thought that was a strange choice to end that episode.
I did not get that at all. One thing we do get in this episode is we get what might be my favorite Eagles song is New Kid in Town.
It's fine. Yeah. I don't know. I like Life in the Fast Lane myself.
Not bad, yeah.
And it's fucking overplayed as hell, but I still enjoy Hotel California.
That might be why I enjoy New Kid in Town. It isn't as overplayed as most of the Eagles.
Yeah, New Kid in Town is fine. I'm not a big Eagles guy.
Yeah, me either. The second of the three is Survival of the Fattest. Homer gets a letter in the mail for a hunting party. Kind of vague. It's obviously...
And you know exactly what it is right away.
It was just telegraphed.
Yep.
Very vague and sinister. It's sinister.
Yeah.
And Lisa, of course. I mean, she doesn't know that it means you're going to hunt Homer for sport, but she just doesn't like hunting in general. And Homer does not listen to her, as he rarely ever does, and decides to go take part in this hunting party. And turns out almost all the men of the community are there.
Yeah.
We get Barney and Moe, Lenny and Carl. I mean... everyone,
almost all
There's
of them.
So many people there, and they're sitting in the dining hall of the house, and Burns walks in and explains how things are going to be, and well, how can this be? And the lawyer stands up. That was a good
blue-haired lawyer. Yeah.
Well, how could this be? How could you do this? He's like, well, and then it cuts to him figuring, okay, if we do this, this, and this, I can see how we can make this legal, and he shoots him in the chest.
Yeah.
Who else gets cheesed right away?
Fucking comic book guy. God damn it. Because Burns is like, I'm going to give each of you a 5-minute running head start. And comic book guy is at the the other end of the long dining room table. And he goes, 5 minutes of running? You may as well kill me now. So he just blows him out of his chair with a shotgun. Yeah. Holy shit, that was funny.
Yep, that was very good. I think they call it the World Series of Manslaughter at some point in time.
Yeah, because it turns out it's also a show with Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, that's what, I was just saying, we have sports celebrities that are
voiced by Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah. Yeah, good pull. Working for Fox at the time, so probably an easy get.
He was there anyway.
So this is now basically The Most Dangerous Game. I've never read that story before, but that was also...
I've never read the story, but I know what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been referenced in fucking everything.
I think what I remembered is from the early to mid 90s Ice-T, Rutger Hauer action film Surviving the Game.
Okay.
Where Ice-T's a homeless man who's taken to an island to be hunted.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, just through luck and a little bit of guile, Homer is able to make it to the end.
Yeah, well, pretty much everybody else gets killed. At one point, there's one core group left of Lenny, Carl, Sideshow Mel, Homer, Groundskeeper Willie, and the music teacher. Yeah. And then fucking Burns just comes in an airplane with a machine gun and kills everyone but Homer. Just bonkers.
There's a good scene where somehow Moe gets shot through the air.
So Moe and a bunch of other people are hiding up in a tree, and Homer goes to climb it, which bends the tree down and then snaps, and the tree flings them out like clay pigeons, and Burns just shoots them all out of the air.
Yeah. Because Moe miraculously survives a gunfire, but then lands on a
weather vane.
He's impaled. He's like, well, I may as well check this scratch off. Does he win $1 million?
Yeah. $1 million. And then
I think I can survive this.
Chief Wiggum
just
kills him. Yeah. So good.
And while I'm saying Homer survives, he really doesn't, though, because in the end, he is in the crosshairs from 5 feet away, so he's dead to rights. We hear a bang bang, and that is Marge braining Smithers and Burns with frying pans.
Yeah,
so
good old classic weapon, a frying pan.
Oh, that would hurt.
Especially a real frying pan, like a cast iron frying pan. You kill somebody with a frying pan.
Maybe you should go to the hospital.
Oh, you should for sure go to the hospital.
And isn't it like the gag, I think, is supposed to be is Marge is just upset that he never called.
Yep.
It's like been 18 hours.
That's why she came and checked on him. You didn't call. She's mad. Yeah.
And that's kind of it.
Yep. I think we get like a Terry Bradshaw joke to wrap it up.
Oh, because they get a little smoochy.
Yeah. Yes. That is it. Yeah.
Because he's like, isn't it insane how they will show vicious acts of violence, but they won't show this beautiful act of making love?
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, no, we're going to stay with it, huh? Well, there they go.
They are.
Yeah.
I'm putting that in my playbook.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the
was,
things he says. Yeah. The weakest of the bunch, I would say, but still fine.
Of
this 3, I mean.
Oh, of this episode? I don't know. I don't care for the artificial intelligence.
Oh, really? See, I got some laughs out of that one.
I didn't care for it and thought it went on too long.
Yeah, it is probably the longest of this group.
For sure. I think what might be my favorite is the last one.
Ooh, perfect segue. I've grown a costume on your face. After she loses a Halloween costume contest, a witch turns the townspeople into their Halloween costumes.
I just think that's a great idea.
Yep.
I think like that could be a real book or a short story,
right?
You know?
So Lisa is now Albert Einstein. Maggie is dressed as a witch. So it becomes chaos right away. It's like, oh, we can't live like this.
And there's so many good visual gags because they all turn into their fucking Hans Moleman just turns into a mole. Yeah. He's like, that's not fair. I wasn't even wearing a costume. And now he's a mole man.
So he would be the example of someone that wants a change. So that's what it looks like. How do we figure this out? How do we get this changed? And it's like, but then I was like, wait a second. Half of the town doesn't want to get changed. They like what they are. My favorite is Milhouse, who's now like a cat, like a caterpillar, like an earth mover. Yeah. Because he's like, I can pull horses out of the mud. Now girls will like me.
Yeah. Because that's
such a good line.
I think Mo is like a circus strong man. Like he's got that leopard print one strap leotard on.
Yeah.
I like that Flanders is a flower and the bee guy won't leave him alone.
Oh my God, yeah. Why are you giving me more flowers? I'm already a flower.
I don't want flowers. I am a flower. God damn it.
So originally Marge is like, well, Maggie's a witch. She can cast a spell now. But they're like, please change. It's like, no, don't change it. So Maggie, a baby, doesn't know what to do. So she's flying in the air, kind of hovering, trying to figure out what spell to cast. And she just, I don't know if she panics or she just turns them all into pacifiers.
Yeah.
That's what Maggie knows.
That's what Maggie would want.
Yeah, just everyone's a pacifier, which was a good visual gag. And this really became my favorite, like just them, the show going off the rails in a good way. And then it just ends, okay, they're all pacifiers. Then it just ends with Mo kind of bouncing over and giving like a PSA about adult illiteracy. Just what? And then Dennis Rodman is there. And he says something like to agree with Mo. Or it's like, well, what are you doing here, Dennis Rodman? It's like court orders.
Working off a speeding ticket.
Like how insane of an ending that was.
Awesome. I loved it. By the way, voiced by Dennis Rodman.
Yep. I figured it was. It sounded a lot like him.
I figured there's no way they got Dennis Rodman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Until I looked it up, I was like, I'll be goddamn. But I guess like 2005, he probably didn't have a whole hell of a lot going on.
Yep. Would have been done with basketball for a few years at that point, at least.
God, Dennis Rodman rules.
Oh, I disagree. I mean, agree and disagree. I just hated him so much when he played with the Pistons.
When I was 13 years old, there were exactly 2 coolest men in the world, and they were David Bowie and Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, to give him credit, though, the fact that he made himself into like a cultural phenomenon for a guy that just played real good defense.
Transcended basketball.
Yeah. So far, like Dennis Rodman was never a top 20 NBA basketball player in the league.
No.
Easily top 3 most notable in 1997.
For sure.
Yeah, like everyone knew who he was.
Great basketball player. Defense in particular.
He loved rebounds. He loved them.
The boards.
One thing, Chief Wiggum was he was Jared from Subway for his Halloween costume.
Oh, yes.
That didn't age well.
Nope, that one didn't age well.
I'm thinner and sexually ambiguous.
Ambiguous.
There was a word. he ain't sexually ambiguous. He knows what he likes, and that is very reprehensible. So, yeah.
What he likes is illegal.
Yep, very illegal.
I was watching that and I was like, that's not a reference that holds up very well.
Yep, did not age well, like a Subway sandwich.
Yep. Subway sandwich probably does not age well. You're right.
It's a short window.
I got one from April in my closet that I'm just waiting on.
Yeah. Vintage sub.
Have me a rainy day Subway sub.
Rainy day Subway Sammies.
One more around the fire is episode 5. One more around the fire.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
We'll roll with it.
Okay.
There we go. It's like Patsy Cline recording albums.
I'll cut that out.
Yeah.
Episode 5, Marge's sun poisoning. I like the couch gag here where they go to sit on the couch and it comes to life and chases them and then goes on way too long as we see that
a thing.
All the furniture in Springfield has come to life and is attacking.
And there's like a UFO couch.
Yep.
That apparently is what's causing it.
It's like maximum overdrive.
Mo on the bar with the shotgun.
Yeah.
So good.
He's just blocked himself up behind the bar unloading on these chairs.
Yeah.
So good. I liked that couch gag quite a bit. The family goes down to the pier for a fun day at the pier, but the pier is in the middle of being destroyed in order to make room for condos for rich idiots, according to the
on
sign.
The sign, yep.
I love the gag of they're tearing down the Carney booth where it's knock over the milk bottles and win a stuffed bear, and not even the construction workers can do it. They like got a jackhammer up against it, and they can't knock over the bottles.
I think the affinity I have to childhood memories of county fairs is what people on the coasts have for a trip to the pier.
I can see that.
I think that's very similar.
I don't think I've ever thrown balls at bottles to try to win a bear.
Any of that kind of shit, like rings on a milk jug or darts on balloons on a board.
I feel like I probably have done that one. Yeah. So like, I get it, but I don't think like, and I've been to the state fair, so maybe, but I pretty doubt it actually.
You're just too busy from waxing the gums of your prize pig petunia or whatever you got.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it all dolled up.
Yeah, too busy waxing Petunia's teeth.
Get it looking real nice. A pig with a model smile. That's off-putting.
Too busy trying to get the perfect George Michael haircut on the front of my market steer. Yeah.
It won't stand still when I'm trying to crimp its hair.
This steer's never going to dance again.
Dear animal husbandry for tweens, I'm struggling to get Petunia to reach her potential.
Oh, fuck. They're also like selling stuff, and Homer buys a dumbbell from the strongman. You think strongmen are still a thing in like fairs and piers and circus carnivals?
I think if there are, they're like the ironic Gen XC, because that was a thing in the 90s. Like we're a different kind of circus.
We're a different freak show.
Yeah, I think that's where you would see it exist now.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know that you could have just a strong man. He would also be able to he would also need to be able to drive nails into his face or something.
Yep.
It's not just enough that, I sure can lift weights. It's like, a lot of people do that now. Like, so Homer buys a dumbbell and Marge buys a tandem bicycle, which is only on television. I've never seen a tandem bike in the wild.
The barber in my hometown as a child who made bikes out of like discarded bikes made a tandem bike that was for sale.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. That's a Frankenbike.
Someone bought a Frankenbike tandem, which, boy, that's trust. That is trust.
Yeah.
There was a great line at the pier because everything's getting sold. It's, Mom, can we buy a magnesium vapor soaked tub? It's like, for the last time, no. Like he's been asking for a while. But how will I increase my vitality? And then he just ragdolls on her.
Yeah, just lays there and gets dragged out of the way. Were you ever a flop kid? Like to the best of my knowledge, was not. I can't imagine getting away with that shit.
It was only when I was really little and really in a mood.
Just flop and go limp.
Well, what I would do is I would just lay down like I'm done. Mom, this is so boring. I'm dying. I just lay in the middle of a shoe store. Mom, I'm dead.
Holy
Look, Mom,
shit.
I'm dead. And then the repercussions never worth it, but at the time, Or my thing would be, I think this is more like not me causing a fuss, just me being a bored kid. I would crawl underneath like the circular racks of clothes.
Oh, sure.
And just with like,
go sit in the middle of the pants.
All of a sudden, I think I'm in a spaceship. Meanwhile, she has plans. Like, we got to get going. Where's my dipshit
And she's
kid?
panicking.
Yeah.
I don't know that I ever pulled that shit. I could be wrong. Like, maybe my mom is listening and going,
She's
bullshit,
like,
you little fucking pain in the ass. But as far as I know, I don't think... Like, I think if I'd have done the flop and laid there, I'm not... I think I'd have just been abandoned in a shoe store is what would have happened.
Which, for the first 20 minutes, that's fine. I'd go find the toys.
Look at all these shoes. You got Shaq ones? I like Reeboks. My feet are already too wide for Nikes. 7 years old.
Doctors say they're swollen.
My giant, wide snowshoe feet. So Marge buys a tandem bike, and nobody will ride with her because everybody is dicks.
Very depressing. They got real sad.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like, Homer won't ride with her. None of the kids will. So Marge tries to ride it on her own, which is so sad.
She's like in the ghetto all of a sudden, like the real rough part of town.
She crashes a bunch of times trying to figure it out. Like, because I bet riding a tandem bike by yourself probably pretty hard.
I would say so.
I bet riding it with someone probably pretty hard. How do you not fight against each other?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd imagine only the person in front can turn.
Yep, totally.
But you still both need to lean together and all that. I bet riding a tandem bike is real hard.
The handles that there are steering handles are just stationary. They're just for you to lean into and hold on to.
Yeah. You still have handlebars, but they don't turn if you're the back person.
There's nothing sensual about a tandem bike. You're still kind of a ways away from the other person.
Right. It's not like a fun romantic thing. You're not grinding on the back of somebody while you're riding it. I bet I don't know. Maybe it's bold, but I'll say it. I bet it's hard.
There we go. Tandem bicycle enthusiasts out there, send us a message. Let us know.
I don't know that tandem bicycle enthusiasts are a real thing. So we get a pretty long extended sequence of Marge being real sad
Marge,
because no one will ride with her, and finally Bart decides to. He sees how miserable she is.
Good for Bart.
Yep, good for Bart. I like that immediately she is like, she doesn't trust it.
Yeah, right.
But he's like, no, I just want to ride bike with you. They ride like through a ghetto and then out into a different place we've never seen before, Springshire. Which is a British village right next door to Springfield.
Also by the water, I think, possibly too.
Whatever you need it to have.
Yeah, right.
And they find themselves in a British tea house eating cake and drinking tea.
Bart's like, I love tea. Like, you haven't had any. You're just horsing down all the snacks.
Down all the snack cakes.
And cakes and treats.
Which, to be fair, like tea and coffee, snacks and cakes, pretty fucking baller. Yeah. You give me a biscotti or a scone.
Yeah. A midday pastry. Who doesn't want one?
I'll fuck up any manner of midday pastry that you can find in a coffee shop or tea house.
They are just loving life together. I'm enjoying this. This is very wholesome.
Bart and Marge together is a lot of fun.
There's...
The B story, Homer has been doing curls this entire time with the dumbbell he bought, but only one hand. He hasn't worked to the other hand
just working
at all.
One arm.
And he shows up to Moe's, and Moe and Lenny and Carl are trapped under the pinball table that has tipped over on them. And did you catch what kind of pinball table it was? I love this because I love pinball, and I love how pinball always gets in bed with any license that they can afford. And this was the Devil's Advocate pinball table. And I think that is a very funny movie for them to have made a pinball table of. Pinball's great, and more people should play pinball. So now Mo has an idea, and he fills Homer in, and they hustle the Texas Oil Man with arm wrestling.
Yeah.
And fucking Homer, to make him seem extra weak, they have him dressed up like a nerd with the taped glasses and pocket protector and everything. And he comes to the bar and is like, "Can I get something to drink? Just some water, nothing carbonated. The bubbles hurt my butt." Or
My
something.
buds.
Yeah, buds.
My buds.
Yeah. Oh my
taste
God.
buds. Yeah.
Just such a dud.
Yeah. His hair's like mushed against his forehead a little bit. Yeah.
So they hustle the Texas Oil Man. He doesn't like that at all. And
Pulls a gun.
Pulls a gun on him. Two of them. Pulls 2 revolvers on him. Meanwhile, we get back to the A story where Bart and Marge go to visit the tea house, and it's closed. So now what are we going to do? They turn the tree house into a tea house.
Very fancy.
Marge takes over the... I like how at first it's just like, well, we can hang out in the tree house, and she's grossed out by literally everything in the tree house.
It's like there's like a puddle of water. It's like that started off as a bowl of milk or a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
Something gross.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that standing water? Yeah, it used to be a bowl of cereal. Yikes. So Marge dolls up the place. We get wallpaper. We got some nice embroidery on the walls. Really churching it up.
Yeah. Replaces the Skinner Sucks spray paint with a Skinner like embroidered sign.
Yeah, like a Skinner Sucks needlepoint. Yeah. Bart and Marge go to the mall to get a new tea kettle. Bart buys a Krusty the Clown tea kettle that says funny lines when you push the button, and he does a couple of them, and the third time he presses the button, it's just Krusty going, "Now, what's this next one? No, I'm not doing that one." I think that's so fucking funny to have that recorded.
Even put that little effort into his products.
Can't even be bothered.
Yeah.
He runs into the bullies, whose names I thought I knew off the top of my head. Jimbo, Kearney, and the emo swoosh one.
Yep, that's the one that's tough.
I never remember. And they bully him for being a mama's boy. And as if on cue, Marge comes out.
God, this was good.
With those matching sweaters that when they put them on and stand next to each other is one long tandem bicycle of the two of them. And it's like the tea timers or whatever the fucking little dumb nickname she's given them.
And it's like, I got you a child's large because your tummy's getting a little too squishy or something like that.
From all those cakes we've been eating.
Some little boy loves princess cakes. Everything, the worst thing she could say in front of the bullies is exactly what she said.
That's exactly what happens. And Bart flips his shit and completely goes off on Marge.
Yep.
Destroys the fucking tea kettle, destroys the tea, goes back to the treehouse and destroys it. Just goes to ham. Marge now is a wreck.
I am usually against anyone doing anything against Marge. Bart was in his right to.
I think he went a little far.
Yeah.
I think he's okay with blowing up a little. I think he's okay to be a little embarrassed, but I think you went too far.
Yeah.
I can't handle a sad Marge, man. I can't handle it. It's tough.
This is real sad Marge.
Yeah, she's a wreck. Sells the tandem bicycle to the cops, which I think is funny.
Oh, good.
So it's Eddie and Lou pulling Wiggum in a wagon. Homer is at an arm wrestling competition with Mo, trying to keep this fucking arm wrestling hustle going. And he is starting to feel left out because he keeps calling home, and Marge hasn't called, and she doesn't answer when I call because she's spending all his time. She's spending all her time with Bart.
Yeah.
So Homer just bails. He just leaves the arm wrestling competition and goes home.
Which he does win. He didn't even try, but he wins.
He wins. He snaps the dude's arm back. You much of an arm wrestler?
Nah.
Me neither. Arm wrestling also not really a whole lot of a thing where I come from. I don't remember a lot of dads squaring up at a picnic table or anything.
If you get closer to the Indian reservation where I grew up, I think they were more into it. I remember some of those guys traveling and doing competitions and stuff. I remember Game 163 of the 2009 Minnesota Twins season. Regular season, both them and the Tigers are tied to play a tiebreaker game to decide the winner of the division. Loser goes home, winner goes to the playoffs.
Exciting baseball.
Very insane. We went to this is the closest place to my apartment that had cable television. I went to Rick's Bar, and I showed up late for the.
Explain Rick's real briefly for
Imagine
non-Fargoans.
a small town country bar with just a sprinkling of a crippling meth addiction.
Yeah, it's got a little biker vibe to it.
Yeah, little Breaking Bad, but mostly just.
It's a little Roadhouse.
Just a little more broken than bad. A lot of will to live is out the door there. But in the 45 minutes where I watched basically just the extra innings, because that game went to extra innings, I was embraced by a tiny little man and squeezed tightly. And he looked in my eyes and told me I was his Norwegian brother. Because I think he must have overheard my last name and just put two and two together.
Sure.
And then another man approached me and asked me if I wanted to join his regional arm wrestling team. Like, what a thing. I'm just fat. I mean, I'm big, but I'm just mostly fat. Like, I am not the man you want. But yeah, I would not do anyone that's ever put any work into it would embarrass me. If it's lefty, I'm okay because I'm a lefty.
Yeah,
and most people aren't, so that's an advantage.
Yeah,
my right arm will snap in half, and it'll just be
just got nothing but bird bones in there.
Chalk snapping. Like click, click. Oh no, my bones.
No. my bones.
My poor bones. So a long way around that. No, not a big wrestling guy.
I don't remember a lot of arm wrestling happening back home. We were leg wrestlers.
I like the idea, though, of me just taking this guy's offer, getting a match and satin jacket with them, going to my first event, and me literally doing a cartwheel as the guy immediately flips me over.
Like he just never checked to see if you were good at it.
Yeah. I never once act like I'm not 100% confident getting in there all excited, put my arm up. Just looks like a child's arm. It's like a 4-year-old gripping his dad's hand as they walk through Dakota Square. Wham! Oh shit! I'll get him next time.
Even in our most strapping young teenage days, we were all leg wrestlers. Nobody arm wrestled. Everybody leg wrestled.
That's too homoerotic for us. That'd be two buttholes too close together on the ground.
You can't have buttholes that close together.
They're too bashful.
Is that in your town charter?
That's too close to scissoring. The pastors looked into it, so we can't have it.
Too close to scissoring. We don't want these boys' knees getting that close together. There was a time I was a pretty good leg wrestler.
Oh.
I don't know if I still got it or not. Let's try it. Let's pause the podcast.
I know you, but time to put an ad up somewhere.
Leave the mics rolling.
Yeah. You just need to find a small, quiet bar. Like every Wednesday, you go there and just challenge people.
Just down there's a bar 2 blocks from here that I bet I could get a leg wrestling match in if I wanted it.
You gonna do it right on the floor, laying a towel down? What would be the proper way?
Get on the floor. Okay. What are you doing?
I don't know if there's maybe if you're a sportsman, you have to have it a certain way. Gotta be on a terry
I don't know
cloth.
if this is a regulation floor, guys.
Put a marble down, see if it rolls.
No advantages. Yeah. None of this uphill shit. So Homer bails out of there to go home. Marge and Bart are going to do karaoke because we're having karaoke at the school, which I love. I love karaoke.
Yeah. I got to be wasted.
You and I have done karaoke together.
We have.
We were wasted.
Yes. To the point that you could tell me whatever song you wanted to make up, I would believe you.
I know the song.
Was it Kid Rock?
It was. It was Ba with the Ba. And I knew the words and you didn't.
Yeah. I think I maybe just did the chorus. I got a hunch
you were there for that word.
Yeah, right. I'm also I with another friend, we would do Pussy Control by Prince.
I hate that
and
song.
I could just do the I'm not going to hit that note right now because that would be very hard on your ears. But I could do it in my younger days. Yeah, right.
I love Prince. I hate that song.
Okay,
always have.
I'm meh with it.
So they're going to do karaoke. They're going to do a duet. And Marge, after running into Principal Skinner, slowly starts to realize that she's turning Bart into a soft-ass Principal Skinner.
Yeah.
And that if she keeps going down this road of being her little boy's best friend, he's going to be the worse for it.
Yep. Absolutely, yeah.
And they have their moment at karaoke where she flips out and lets everybody know what's going on. And Bart is back to being Bart.
Yep.
Which is good. He turns the fire extinguisher on the crowd, which is fun. The three bullies were going to sing My Sharona, and they do at the end of the episode. They sing it to the Simpsons in their bedroom after Homer gets back.
His response is like, just a footnote in musical history or something like that.
That song's a pop music footnote. I don't care for that song, but...
I don't have a strong opinion.
Yeah,
makes for
exactly
riveting podcasting.
Yeah, neither of us have strong opinions about My Sharona.
The Knack, for those who are looking at home.
Yep. Now look at you go.
Yeah.
Knack with a K.
Yep. So yeah, a good episode, and I think it's a good point. Can't be your kid's best pal. Right?
No.
I bet that is a thing that can happen with farm kids a lot because you're around mom a lot. Mm-hmm. If you're not a farm kid, you're not around your mom all the time. She's usually at work, or like in my case, she's babysitting other kids. So you're forced. You weren't hanging out with mom. Your mom, a pain in mom's ass. She didn't want you around. Like. So yeah, there was that was nothing I had to worry about. So thanks, Mom and Dad, for putting distance between us.
Yeah, I always got along with my mom and still do, but it was never like I didn't become Skinner.
Yep. If anything, I was a grandma's boy. But again, my grandma didn't live with us, so it was only when I was there.
Yeah.
So, but I was a grandma's boy.
I also was a grandma's boy.
I love treats.
Yeah. My grandma, the one who liked to go to Hooters, I could have done no wrong in her eyes. I could have gotten a tattoo of an erect penis on my face, and she'd have been like, "You're so artistic."
Yeah, these kids,
He's so just creative.
The things are so kooky and fun. It's like, I was arrested for killing 4 drifters. Well, you didn't eat them. There's cuckoo birds. I saw that cuckoo bird that eats people. You're not like that guy. You're just you're artistic.
Oh, shit. But that's a batch. We are in. We're in.
Very good batch.
We got 17 underway, baby.
Yep.
And so far, so good.
Very good. Yep. I'm very into this so far.
Pretty into it. I think the only thing I didn't really care for in this whole batch was like the robot one in the treehouse.
Oh, really? I did not mind that one at all.
I thought that one went on way too long. And then especially by the end of the episode, when I loved the costume one so long, but it was so much, but it was so short.
Yeah.
I was like, we should have cut off some of that other horse shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Or I think there's probably more gigs to be had in the Most Dangerous Game one.
Yeah,
too,
the hunting one. Fantastic.
Killing off like the regulars, like the townspeople.
Yeah, because they get rid of a bunch of them in just a couple of kills.
Right.
The ones flying through the air and the ones with the plane.
Yep.
So I'd have done that a little differently, but it's fine. I still think the most bizarre thing in this whole batch is Homer saying bullshit.
Yeah.
And having it bleeped out.
Not cool, Simpsons.
So weird. What is happening?
Yeah. What kind of show are you trying to be?
Yeah, this is a family show about a family. Next week, we will do 5 more episodes 6 through 10 of season 17. Can you believe we're here?
Right in the middle now. I think is what season is now just starting.
33.
So yeah, we're right there now. Look at that, right in the guts.
Stuck in the middle.
All up in it.
With you.
The hump day.
Steelers wheel.
There we go. Steelers wheeling it. We're Steelers wheeling it through the Simpsons right now.
Mr. Blonde.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who sang Ooga Chaka, Ooga, Ooga Chaka, Ooga. That was another one-hit
Hooked
wonder.
on a Feeling?
Yeah. Blue Suede?
Fuck, I could have told you if you hadn't asked me.
Yeah.
Shit, I want to say Redbone, but that's Come and Get Your Love.
Yep. Remember, this is a Simpsons podcast. We have
just barely.
Yeah. Also a 70s one-hit wonder podcast. Get some Gilbert O'Sullivan references in here.
Oh, look at you go. How far are you going to follow this? How deep's your bench, Nathan?
Oof. It's getting hard after that.
Big oof.
Were Captain and Tennille a one-hit wonder? Do they have anything else besides Afternoon Delight.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know, so I'm going to say you're right.
I think so. I think we're onto something there. In the summertime, that guy, he was a one-hit wonder.
I just know that from commercials.
Yeah. Ridiculous looking man. I'm not one to judge people for what they look like. Just insane.
A one-hit wonder 70s pop star was goofy looking? Yeah, say it ain't so.
Right?
Say it ain't so.
You know who was a 70s one-hit wonder? Vicki Lawrence of Mama's Family fame, because she had The Night That the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
Which ended up being Reba McEntire's only good song.
Wow. That...
I'm sorry.
Was a
that
hot
spicy?
Take to end. I mean, I do not got, from how much I love 90s country, I do not have real strong opinions either way on Reba. Mm-hmm. That is I bet the lines, look at the lines. We got people calling in. We got callers coming in. That's a hot take.
Not how this works, Nathan.
It's a hot take Tuesday here at the... Boy, we got a lot of... We're going to screen these calls. We'll have them on the next podcast.
You didn't even have your tarp ready. You didn't know you were in the splash zone,
right?
did you?
We are deep in the splash zone.
Reba McEntire's music sucks.
Oh, boy. I do not have a strong enough opinion I don't have the energy to combat you on that right now.
I don't like it.
Because I don't think I like it that much, but I don't know if I'd say sucks.
No, there's one good one, and she didn't write it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, country people never write any of their shit, but
that's true.
That's for another day.
Let's not make these poor people sit through more country music conversations from you and I.
That's for next week. Come back next week. We'll do a Diamond Rio deep dive.
Oh, man. God bless Texas.
That's Little Texas, but that's same era.
Same thing.
Yeah, same haircuts.
Prove to me Diamond Rio and Little Texas aren't the same band.
Yeah.
Get them in a room together.
Yeah.
So we will do 5 more next week, episodes 6 through 10 of season 17 of The Simpsons. I'm sure you're sweating, wondering if I've made my choices, and yes, I am going to root for the Winnipeg Jets in the West.
Good.
And I'm going to root for the New Jersey Devils in the East.
Did it.
As far as I can tell, neither of those teams are very good, but I will be buying merch this week.
Ooh, merch.
Get some hats.
Hats, a scarf.
I could rock a scarf, a nice devil's scarf.
Hoodie, a nice devil's hoodie.
I like a hoodie.
Yep.
I'm a hoodie man.
Yeah, hoodie man.
Yeah, not a pullover though. I don't like a pullover. I like
pull
to
that
sit
shirt
down.
up, feeling comfortable.
Oh man,
you don't need that.
You got a pullover hoodie, and then it just before you know it, it works. It's got that belt around the middle, works its way up around your tits.
Yeah, that's not what you need at all. You don't need that. Doing all of that inside of a Texas Roadhouse, comfortable.
Walking around with your undergut hanging out like fucking Rufus from Jericho from WCW.
Ugh, this is depressing.
Nobody wants that.
Nope, and you're not going to get that. You're going to get you a zip up.
Yep,
big boy,
a full zip, not a quarter zip, full zip.
Oh, what a cruel thing to make the quarter zip.
Yeah,
why not go the whole way? It's the sloppy pullout
horse shit.
Yeah, of fall wear.
The sloppy pullout of pullovers.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. We're almost done watching horror movies over on Huntsville Home Video. Today's the 26th, which means we only got to watch like 5 more. Ooh. I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. Whew, a lot of fun. And I am looking forward to the end of it.
Burnt out on the spooks?
Hot damn. Yeah, it's been a lot, which I knew it was going to be. I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but we had a lot of fun, and I think the product is good.
There you go.
And it's all about the content, baby.
Mm-hmm. Put out that hot cunt.
The hot what?
You heard me.
Okay.
Hot cunt.
Okay, got it.
Cunt.
Oof, jeez.
Not like Immanuel Kant, the philosopher. The Kant, short for content.
Real spicy.
Yep.
Everyone enjoy yourselves. 5 more next week. Episodes 6 through 10 of season 17 of The Simpsons.
Bye, everybody.